first question would be, who in your life died?
A lot of people. Well, not a lot, but no, we gotta restart. I'm uncomfortable.
Just go.
Okay. My mom and my uncle died. The dogs died. That's about it in that 2-span period.
And was that the order of everyone that died? Your mom, your dogs, your uncle?
No, we went my dog, my mom, my dog, my uncle.
Okay. So, so your mom was obviously the closest to you in this time.
Yeah.
And what age were you when she first got sick?
I was in the end of my 7th grade year, the summer.
Yeah. So like 13.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did she find out she was getting sick? Did she have any symptoms, or did she just go to the doctor?
She had a lot of pain in her stomach. Yeah, I don't really know. She got in a 4-wheeler accident, and so before she even found out she was sick, she was she couldn't work and stuff for a couple months because she got into this 4-wheeler accident and just screwed her stuff up.
Okay. And so you at that time, how did you feel about it? Did you know right off the bat? Did she tell you?
No, actually, it was before I left to visit my dad for the summer. I found a cancer brochure laying on the coffee table, and I questioned her about it, and she lied about it. Well, she just didn't. She just didn't tell me the truth. Yeah, she lied. That's what not telling the truth is. Yeah. Just because she knew I was going off for the summer, and she didn't want to burden me with that, because when they first found out, they didn't realize how bad it actually was.
Yeah. And so, did you feel betrayed or hurt that your mom didn't tell you?
No, because I'm kind of crazy. It was probably for the best.
Yeah. So she was more looking out for you, and you understood that.
Yeah, I mean, they told me after I left, a couple weeks after, because they found out I was pretty bad, and at first she didn't really tell me how bad it was. I think just because she knows I'm kind of an anxious person, and I don't do well with things like that. I kind of freak out. But
yeah. So when you got back, it was the beginning of your 8th grade summer.
Or 8th grade year.
Okay. And so, what was the stage of the illness, or how bad was it?
She had a cut through tumor, and so it was. They kind of knew she wasn't gonna live. Yeah. It was just kind of buying more time, her fighting for it.
And can you explain what a cut through tumor is, or do you not know?
The doctor was doing surgery and missed something on the scans, and when he was doing the surgery to give her emergency hysterectomy, because that's what they thought was causing the pain at first, he cut through her tumor and left the other half in there, and so it was kind of just cancer just spilling into her body.
Okay, so it was uterine cancer. Cervical. Yeah. And did it go anywhere else?
It stayed there for the most part. Yeah, it actually, a cut through tumor is pretty easy to fix, but with the doctor missing it, it cut her chances down to way low. I'm not sure how much, but
yeah. And so, since it's cervical, have you been worried about that for you? If you would get cervical cancer?
Yeah, it's definitely. I have to. My doctors like to keep up with that. I've gotten the shots, the Gardasil shots and everything, but they like to watch it pretty close because it is hereditary. My sister Logan is already found cancerous cells and has had some removed. So.
Okay. And about what age did your mom stop being able to parent you?
Actually, this all happened in 6th grade. No, I don't know. It happened.
Yeah.
In junior high, one day it just happened that I just had to learn how to do my own laundry because she just couldn't do it. I didn't even get taught. I just had to do it. Yeah, because I didn't have any clothes to wear.
Yeah. So, like, was there ever anybody, like your grandma or anyone in your life that kind of took over that role, or were you on your own at that time?
No, I was pretty much on my own. I just kind of figured it out on my own, by myself, and just did it.
Yeah. And, so, like, you had friends, obviously, at that time. Would they come to the house and see it, or did you try to go to their?
I honestly stayed at home a lot while my mom was sick. After she died, that's when I kind of started hanging out more with friends, just because it was just me and my stepdad, and he worked quite a bit, and so I had to do a lot. And my grandma would help sometimes with her, but she's kind of crazy, so.
Yeah. So, like, when was it, like, you knew she wasn't going to get any better?
I remember the exact day. It was my 8th grade trip to Branson, and we were on our way back, and um, my mom and them texted me that we have to talk about something when I get back, and my mom stayed home. My stepdad came and picked me up from the bus, and we talked about it on the way back, and they pretty much said that they're going to do a surgery. It's one of those bags that, like, you go to the bathroom and because she could.
Oh, like a catheter.
It was like an it's a big word. She just, like, it makes it so, like, there's like a bag, like a for things.
So you were just like, obviously this is the end. Like, she can't function.
Yeah, he pretty much said this, like, this will buy her maybe another year. He pretty much said that. I don't know how it bought her. I don't really did, but.
So, like, how was the process of her last few days, or, like, last moments with you?
Well, what happened is, I never noticed it before I left, but my, stepdad said he did. She was mixing up her pills and stuff, and it was spring break my freshman year, and, we actually got into a fight before I left, and, I left with my sister. I came back to where my dad lives and stuff, and she was fine. Like, we got into a fight, and so we didn't really talk over spring break. And one random night, my sister got a text that said "help," which is kind of creepy. But and then after that, Kyle, my stepdad, called the next day and said that she's not doing good, and we came back, and she was just out of it. Like, she would just stare into space. She wouldn't blink very much, and she slowly declined. Like, her body went first, and then her mind started going. When I came back in just over in a week's time, she could barely talk. Like, she was looking at me, talking to me about me and about my birthday. Like, how that day was my birthday, and it wasn't my birthday. It was kind of like an older person with Alzheimer's. Just the cancer was just kind of.
So, when you came back from break, it was a completely different person.
just within a week, it got like that.
And so, was that really hard for you, to handle, or?
It was hard. The biggest thing is my mom was, a single mom for a long time, and she was a nurse, and so, her main life was taking care of people, and that's all I've seen her do, since I was born, and then, seeing her not be able to go to the bathroom herself, shower herself, walk, just be from the couch, get wheeled to her bed, and then finally just stayed in the hospital bed in our house.
So, she was in the house. Did you take care of her, or did she have somebody else take care of her?
The last, couple days, maybe a week, hospice came in and started taking care of her just because it was pretty bad. She was getting bed sores and stuff, and the medicine they were giving her was strong medicine just because it was they were trying to make her comfortable, and my stepdad and me just couldn't really do it ourselves.
So you guys were the main caregivers.
Yeah, my stepdad definitely was, just because I was young and he tried to keep me out of it, but I had to help with some stuff, and that was really hard just because it was her body first, and then it was her mind, and you could just see in her eyes that everything was bothering her, she was embarrassed and stuff, and that was hard, which it didn't, I'd say that, watching it made it easier when she died, because I realized that, she's not in pain anymore. Excuse me. If she was to go out and die in a car crash, that I think it would have been harder to cope with, because I didn't get to see that, anything was better than what she was going through.
So you would say like watching her pass away and her being gone was a better feeling than watching that.
Yeah, I like watching her body just.
Yeah. So since she's passed away, like how did that affect you in high school?
It definitely was hard. We lived pretty far out on a farm, so the last like the 2 years after she died, I didn't really go out much just because it was me and my stepdad, and like that's what we were used to. We just would hang out at the house, and it was 20 minutes, and I didn't get my driver's license just because my situation with my dad and me and him not getting along. We lived so like I lived 6 hours away from. He couldn't like sign for me to get stuff,
Yeah.
and like my mom wasn't here, and so just things like little things that you wouldn't think about really, like, were became a big like.
So yeah. So you didn't have your mom at that point, and you and your dad didn't get along.
No, we never really gotten along. My whole life, my mom has just been like the only parent I really ever knew.
Okay. So he just wasn't involved at all.
Like he was involved like a little bit. Like it was more court ordered stuff that I'd have to go see him, and
Yeah.
he would do it to make me like to make him look good that he was being a dad. But we never really had a relationship.
So can you tell me like about your family or people in your life like closest to you in that time, whether it be like during the illness or after?
My mom's friends were really were there a lot. Her friend Amy and her friend Shelly. And there was a lot of people that would bring food by and just stop by and do a lot for us. And then with my family we definitely like came around a lot more and stuff. And my grandpa was there all the time. My grandma was, and then my sister Logan, we didn't really ever get along. But that definitely changed our relationship after watching our mom die and battle cancer. And just like we became like best friends and became super close. Like I live with her now. Like.
Yeah, so you didn't stay and live with your stepdad after.
I stayed and lived with him for a couple years, but he got a girlfriend and she was not great.
Yeah.
So bad.
So did you stay until you were done with high school?
Yeah, I graduated early from high school, and then I moved in with my sister.
Okay, and where does your sister live in the same town or far away?
She lives far away. She lives like 6 hours away, like where my dad lives.
Okay. And so, was it better, like your living situation, once you got with your sister, or was?
It was good with my stepdad until he started dating, just because when he dates, he puts all of his focus on that person and their kids and stuff, and I kind of got left alone a lot. And after my mom died, I had a lot of like mental things like happen. Like I became like really anxious and had severe anxiety. I had a panic disorder, and so I needed like him to be around, and he just wasn't. And
so like your anxiety and panic disorder and all of that, did it definitely get worse after your mom, or was it when people in your life were like leaving?
It definitely got worse after my mom died, and then my uncle died, and after that it just went really downhill. It went real bad.
Yeah.
And then it was pretty bad after my uncle died, and then it got better. And then when I moved in with my sister, it got a lot better. I just became a lot happier. And
is there like things about living with your sister that's helped you grow up more or made you more comfortable like growing up, since you are still pretty young?
No, she's pretty annoying. like it helped me because it wasn't like living with parents. In some way she would try and be a parent, but I just didn't have to listen to her, and I knew that. And so it was kind of like having roommates almost, like that I didn't have to pay rent for.
Yeah. So, just like to wrap it up, is there just one thing that definitely, like, besides your mom, that made this all difficult? Or do you think it would have been difficult with her here?
I think my life would be completely different if she was here. I don't think I would be in Hayes. I think I would be in Pittsburgh. I think I would have had better relationships with my friends, and I probably would be a little more wild with the things that I do, not as cautious, but my anxiety definitely helps. Like, make me not make horrible decisions.
So your mom like definitely was support and like comfort. In your
Yeah,
life.
she was support. She was the only person in my life that I had that I knew would like never leave or never not like I just knew that it was unconditional love, that no matter what, like she would always love me and like help me in any way that I needed. Like she was still like tough and like strict, but she balanced being a friend and a mom like better than anyone I've ever met. Like
Yeah.
she was, I don't know, we were just super close, but it just sucked because I was at a bad age.
Yeah, that is like a
Like where you
difficult
just
age.
like hate your parents, you just everything they did annoyed you. But like now, like I remember my sister being this age around when my mom died, and they were like best friends. They talk all the time and everything.
You
And
kind of feel like you're missing out on.
yeah,
that.
I missed a lot.
So do you think it's harder now to deal with her death than it was like at the beginning?
Yeah, and also I don't think it like really hit me until big things in my life started happening, like graduation. Like her main goal when she got sick was to try and see me graduate, and like that day was hard just because she wasn't there. Like
Yeah.
and just going to college and like I see my friends like on their birthdays, their moms and stuff send them like things, gifts and stuff, or they just get like cards or just little things like that, or just phone calls even when you're having a bad week is just kind of sucks when you don't have anyone.